So the research paper for the title is Insightful Motion Analysis via Lucas-Kanade Optical Flow Estimation. The group members are Pushkaraj, Kolekar, Devashish Deshmukh, Rushikesh Jadhav, Maniyar, Aamer, Sohel, and Rounak Raj. So the as usually we see in the nature that most of the objects are in motion. So this gives us insight for motional analysis. The motion analysis is usually done using optical flow estimation. So what is optical flow? Optical flow is an estimate to apparent motion of the scene points from a sequence of images. So when a point moves in 3D, its projection on image is related to image via its brightness. So how can we track the motion of the object via its brightness? So this motion of the object is tracked using the optical flow. So if at a given point the brightness intensity is measured for the subsequent frames, this will give the optical flow. But we cannot directly compare the brightness to get an optical flow. So for this, near about neighborhood points are taken into consideration, and this is known as the Lucas-Kanade optical flow estimation. These all three points are discussed in subsequent parts in this paper. So first of all, whenever a point P is given at time t and at delta t plus delta t time, this point moves in dx and dy the dimensions in the plane of the image. These motion analysis can be done as rotational or translational. So when coming to optical flow,
so optical flow, it is a method to estimate apparent motion of scene points from sequence of images. Imagine watching a video or a sequence of images. Optical flow helps us understand how things in these images are moving from one frame to another. It's like tracking the movements of objects or points in a video. So in optical flow, we use something called vectors to represent movement. These vectors have two parts, U and V. U for horizontal movement, that is left right, and V for vertical movement, that is up down. So if the ball moves to the right and slightly upwards, U will be positive and V will be positive upward. The continuity equation which is given in this Ix plus Iy, Ix into U plus Iy into V plus It is equal to 0. It is a way to describe how image intensity changes over time. So here Ix and Iy are how fast the image intensity changes in the horizontal and vertical direction. It's like how much brightness changes as you move across the picture. It is how fast the image changes over time. So if something moves quickly between the frames, it will be high. The equation with partial derivatives denotes that how things changes with respect to x, y or time. So when we are computing optical flow, we are essentially looking at how brightness changes from one point to another in a series of pictures and using that information to figure out how things move from frame to frame is calculated.
Okay, so now we will now see. So our research dwells into the fascinating world of optical flow estimation as explained by Aamer. So specifically, we will be utilizing the Lucas-Kanade algorithm. The powerful technique unveils the motion narrative hidden within video sequences, so offering valuable insight to us for utilization in diverse applications. So today I would like to present the core principles of the Lucas-Kanade algorithm. So according to our research paper that we have written, so I would like to explain about the assumption and the precondition. So Lucas-Kanade algorithm primarily rests upon the two key assumptions that pave the way for its computational efficiency and accurate motion estimation. Firstly, it embraces the concept of local constancy of flow, assuming pixel intensities within a small neighborhood that remains relatively stable despite object movement. Further, it refines the mathematical model which is suggested by the Lucas-Kanade, making it ideal for scenarios where object translates or rotates slightly. Now we will like to see in more detail about what are the challenges, how the challenges are being tackled by the Lucas-Kanade algorithm. So we will try to see it from the skilled investigators perspective. So first of all, our um, first parameter is the gradient analysis. So first, we calculate the image gradients for each pixel to identify footprints left by movement. These gradients, like directional arrows, pinpoint the rate and direction of brightness change, offering crucial clues about pixel trajectories. Now, next, our important feature is the temporal witness. So we compare the consecutive frames, the equivalent of reviewing security footage, to capture how brightness evolves over time. This temporal gradient change in footprint between frames strengthens our understanding of motion dynamics. Third one is the spatial and temporal filtering. So, however, noise can cloud this in. So, to mitigate this, we spatially and temporally average the gradients to consult multiple witnesses to obtain a clearer picture. So, as explained by Aamer, there are Lucas-Kanade equation. So, the interrogation chamber. This helps us to confront the pixels with the Lucas-Kanade equation. The equation with its A matrix extract the pixels displacement vector u and v, which will be shown by Rushikesh in the code, which tells us about the movement in both horizontal and vertical direction. Now we will like to see in depth about the methodology that will be utilized in this algorithm. So first of all, we will be seeing the pre-processing procedure. So in pre-processing procedure, it has a grayscale conversion. So we firstly convert the video frames to grayscale by using the OpenCV libraries, as the algorithm operates on intensity values. This simplifies our computation and reduces the noise sensitivity, as it is a grayscale image. Next, we will do the normalization. So image will be grayscale and normalized to range of 0 to 1 for improved numerical stability and convergence of the iterative optimization process. Next, our part will be about the feature detection. So we will use the one function called as the good features to track functions that will first form the strong corners in the first frame. This corner serves as a reliable features for tracking due to their distance, particle characteristics, and ease of localization. Next part of our research will be about utilizing the optical flow calculation. So as we have seen the equations earlier, we will try to demonstrate that logical by using programming in Python. So first of all, we will detect the corner window of size W cross W pixel center around the location of the first frame. Then we calculate the image intensity gradient with respect to X and Y. Then the Lucas-Kanade equation is then applied within the window to estimate the displacement vector u and v of the corner in the second frame. This equation relates the intensity changes to the motion through a linear relationship. Now this equation involves the method called as the least square method to minimize the difference between the predicted and actual intensity within the window. So by utilizing all this methodology, we can get the most accurate and the robust object tracking, which is possible in a video frame. So our approach focuses on the image edges, which is rich in information for image tracking. We are using a video as an input. So first of all, as we have seen earlier, it will be having intensity computation. Then there will be a gradient matrix and eigenvalues that will be calculated for each to get a dominant direction of change. Third one, we will have a score and the flag matrix. And fourth one will be the feature selection. So we have seen most of the advantages of the Lucas method. So there are certain limitations to it. First of all, it is sensitive to the noise. So we are trying to use the eigenvalues that may be susceptible to the noise and illumination changes. So potentially it will definitely impact our tracking accuracy. Second will be there may be a large deformation. So significant object deformation or complete occlusions can pose challenge for us. And third one will be like drifting. So like other tracking methods, our approach can accumulate some errors over times that may lead to drifting. These methods will have a variety of applications. So basically, it may be used for video stabilization, which is currently used in most of the cameras. to avoid the shaky footage for smoother video playback. And it can also be used for real-time monitoring system over the streets where vehicle arrangements can be understood. Okay.
Now, I will be explaining the code that we have implemented. So first, these are all the inputs that we are using. The libraries are matplotlib, numpy, time, scipy for the signal preprocessings. This is our main function, which will calculate the optical flow. It takes 2 frames as inputs, the frame index and total number of frames. So first we pre-process the frames. We will convert them to grayscale using this TV2 function. After that, we are storing the values in arrays, and in further pre-processing, we are using Gaussian blur to smooth out the images. And after smoothing, to calculate the gradients, we are convolving the smooth images and storing them in IX, IY, and IT. After that, for the optical flow function algorithm, we are supposed to find the features. So this is the function we will be using to find the features, which is a good features to track. The maximum numbers of corners given to the function are 10,000, and you can change it according to your need or videos. So these are the spatial vectors. One is for horizontal and one is for vertical. So with each feature, we will check the range, and so this is the our main formula, where the Lucas-Kanade equation of matrix multiplication, that A transpose A and A into inverse is calculated. So in LK, we are storing the transpose of the matrix, and after this is the A transpose A multiplication with NP dot dot, and with this function we will calculate the inverse of A1, which is stored in A2, and this is the final matrix multiplication with A3 and IT. So which is basically just A transpose A inverse and the function showed in the report. So for every frame, we will be checking if the horizontal or vertical displacements are above a particular threshold. If they are above the particular threshold, then we will be showing the displacement using an arrow. This is the function which we will use to plot the arrows. And after that, we will again convert the image to RGB and just return the image. So from here, we are taking the video as input, and then calculating the total number of frames and the FPS. We will give each 2 frames to the optical function, and we will add the output of the function to our output video every time, as long as there is a frame present in our input video. Now I will run the code. So we can see here, as the aeroplane is moving, the displacement vectors are surrounding it. After this, the video is also stored. And now Ronak will continue with the conclusion and results.
Now moving to the experimental results. Basically, there are 4 parts: A, B, C, and E. So the basic outcome of the code that Rushikesh showed was that we take a video file, and the video file captures 2 frames, and from that frame, the displacement is shown. So in part A, you can see that here we have taken 2 images that are images 1 and images 2, that is the frames from the video. And in the next image that you can see is that colored arrows are shown, which show the displacement of the frames from image 1 to image 2. The next part, which is B, which shows the image with overlaid displacement. So this is the third image which is shown, that is you can see in the PDF also. So this is the image, and the third image shows that the calculated displacement vectors directly overlaid on top. So you can see the colored arrows indicate the direction and magnitude of the displacement of the each corner point. So the next part is see additional the observations that we have observed are there were basically three observations that we have observed. The first was the magnitude of the displacement vector varies across the image, and areas with larger changes in the intensity, such as moving object, are shown in the shadows in the form, exhibit larger displacement vectors. The second observation that we observed was the direction of the displacement vectors reflect the movement of the object in the scene. For example, the movement of the vector on the moving pen drive that you can see in this can be observed in the second part. And the third observation that we observed is the results are consistent with the expected behavior of optical flow, demonstrating the successful implementation of the Lucas-Kanade algorithm. The fourth part is analysis. So in analysis, what we saw that quantitative analysis, the magnitude and direction of the displacement vectors can be used to calculate the quantitative measurements of the motion, such as velocity and acceleration. The second is algorithm comparison. The result of the Lucas-Kanade algorithm can be compared to the other optical flow algorithms to evaluate their relative performance. And the third one is application. The result of the optical flow analysis can be used as input to other computer vision tasks such as object tracking and motion segmentation. And lastly, moving towards the conclusion. So our basic motive was that our model takes an input as a video or a GIF, and it captures two frames from that, which you can see by zooming in, frame 1 and frame 2. So in frame 1, which you can see clearly that some cars are there, and frame 2 you can see the cars move from one place to another, which show the displacement. And in the result, as you can see, the dotted colored the red color parts show the displacement, and this is the output result that we have seen. So finally, I would like to say that the result confirms that the Lucas-Kanade algorithms can accurately track the motion of object in the video sequence. So this capability opens up to several opportunities for further analysis and applications. So that was it from our side.
Now I would like to request Rushikesh to display the output that we got earlier.
So I will show the output that we have shown in the paper. So here we can see, if we take frame by frame, we can see the displacements of all the cars, and almost each car is tracked pretty perfectly. So that was it. Thank you.
So finally, we would like to acknowledge. So we are deeply grateful to Dr. Jignesh Patel, who is our mentor for the computer vision course. So it was really challenging for us to perform the research in this area without using any technology like machine learning or deep learning or use of artificial intelligence. So this research paper was completely based on the purely based upon the computer vision topic. So it was really challenging and fun for all of us to do. So we are really thankful to him. So we got a lot of learning from this.